I want to begin with a story. When immigrants from the former Soviet Union were arriving in Israel, a reporter once asked a woman stepping off the plane, "How was your life back there?" "I can't complain," she answered. "How were the schools your children attended?" "I can't complain." "How was your house?" "I can't complain." After a few answers like this, the reporter finally asked, "So why did you come to Israel?" And she replied, "Because here I finally can complain." This story touches on one of the most fundamental aspects of human freedom: the right to question, to critique, to challenge. In the Soviet Union, where dissent was suppressed, people learned to survive by staying silent. But in a free society, and particularly in Judaism, questioning is not just a right, it is a responsibility. Parashat Bo, which we read this Shabbat, is central to our understanding of freedom. Within it, we find 3 of the 4 questions referenced in the Haggadah's discussion of the 4 children. 2 of these questions appears in our parsha. What is this service to you? Ma ha'avodah zot lachem? The question of the wicked child. What is this? Ma zot? The question of the simple child. The third, found in Deuteronomy, belongs to the wise child. But the 4th child, the one who does not know how to ask, Eino yodea lish'ol, also makes an appearance in Parashat Bo this week. Yet, what is striking is that this child does not ask a question at all. Instead, the parent takes the initiative and declares, "It is because of this that God acted on my behalf when I went free from Egypt. Ba'avur ze asa Adonai li betzeti mimitzrayim." At first glance, this is puzzling response. What exactly does "because of this" ba'avur ze mean? What is the "this," the ze, referring to? Rabbi Gordon Tucker suggests that this in ba'avur ze refers to the very silence of the child. This is the reason why God is taking us out of Egypt. Because you, child, are silent here. You are not allowed to question. You are not allowed to critique. We are not allowed to think. The child who does not know how to ask is being taught something crucial. Not just the history of the Exodus, but the very nature of freedom itself. The very ability to ask, to discuss, and to engage in conversation. Pharaohs, tyrants, and oppressors do not allow questions. They demand obedience, silence, and submission. Under Pharaoh's rule, the Israelites were voiceless, like that child, unable to challenge their reality or dream of something different. The very act of questioning authority was forbidden. But God's service is not like Pharaoh's service. The essence of being free is the right to ask questions and expect sophisticated answers. The Exodus was not just about physical liberation. It was about creating a society where open inquiry is not only allowed, but encouraged. The Jewish tradition has always understood that faith is not about blind acceptance, but about engagement, about dialogue and debate. Abraham questioned God's justice when he pleaded for Sodom and Gomorrah. Moses questioned God at the burning bush, insisting that he was unfit to lead. The Talmud is built on the principle of questioning and arguing. Every page filled with debate, contradictions, and counter-arguments. This is why the Seder night is structured around asking questions. The very act of engaging with the story of our liberation is meant to teach us that Judaism is a tradition of curiosity and dialogue. The story of the Soviet immigrant and so many other stories of tyranny remind us that freedom is not just about physical security or economic opportunity. It is about the ability to express ourselves, to critique our leaders, to challenge injustice, and to speak openly without fear. We see this struggle playing out in many parts of the world today, where people fight for their right to voice dissent, to practice their religion, to live according to their conscience. Even in societies that are ostensibly free, like ours, there are forces that seek to suppress open debate, label questions as threats, or dismiss critiques as disloyalty. As Jews, we must remember that ba'avur zeh, this is why we were freed. To question, to challenge, to give that little child a voice, to think critically, to ensure that justice and truth prevail, not through silence, but through discussion and engagement. So what does this mean for us today in our own lives? In our homes, let's encourage our children to ask hard questions even the ones that make us uncomfortable. Let's not silence them with easy answers, but engage them in meaningful dialogue. In our community, let's create spaces for honest discussion, where different perspectives can be heard and respected. In our society, let's be vigilant in protecting the freedoms that allow us to think, to question, and to speak truth to power. Because these, the ability to ask, to challenge, to engage, ba'avur zeh, is what makes us truly free. Shabbat Shalom.